Would you believe me if I told you that after people died, their bodies were secretly taken, cut apart, burned, and tested, without their families even knowing? Not in some ancient war, not in some dictatorship, but in modern history. This was Operation Sunshine. Welcome to Patterned Reality. Operation Sunshine was a secret scientific program started in the early 1950s, during the height of the Cold War. Its goal? To study the effects of nuclear radiation on the human body. More specifically, a radioactive substance called strontium-90, a byproduct of nuclear bomb tests, falling from the sky and entering the food chain. Milk, water, bones. And scientists needed to know just how much of it was inside us. Here's where it gets disturbing. To measure strontium-90 levels, scientists needed human bones. Not animals, not simulations, real people. So governments and research teams began collecting remains, without consent. Bodies were taken from hospitals, morgues, funeral homes, and even graves. In many cases, families had no idea. Children, babies, adults. Their bones were removed, burned into ash, and tested for radiation, all in secret. For what reason? Fear. At the time, the world was locked in a nuclear arms race. The United States, the Soviet Union, testing weapons constantly. Scientists believed radioactive fallout could poison entire populations. Strontium-90 was especially dangerous because it behaves just like calcium. Once inside the body and it settles in the bones and teeth, staying there for years, increasing the risk of cancer. So, Operation Sunshine aimed to answer one question: how much radiation is already inside us? Thousands of bodies were used from all over the world, including the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, and parts of Europe. But one group was targeted more than others: children, because their bones absorb more strontium-90. In some cases, entire skeletons of infants were taken. Parents believed their children were buried or cremated properly. But behind the scenes, they were part of an experiment. For years, this program remained hidden, until the 1950s and 60s, when investigations began to uncover the truth. Journalists, activists, and eventually governments were forced to admit what had happened. Public outrage followed. Families demanded answers. How could this happen without consent? Without dignity, without accountability? Operation Sunshine did lead to important discoveries. It confirmed that nuclear fallout was entering human bodies, and that it was a real danger. These findings helped push forward international pressure, leading to agreements like the Partial Nuclear Test Ban Treaty of 1963, which limited nuclear testing in the atmosphere. But the cost was human. Even today, the legacy of Operation Sunshine remains. Radiation from past nuclear tests still exists in the environment, in the soil, in the water, and in the food. Strontium-90 levels have dropped, but they haven't disappeared. And the ethical questions? They're still being asked. How far should science go in the name of safety? And who decides what's acceptable? Operation Sunshine wasn't just an experiment. It was a moment in history where fear overrode humanity, where answers were needed, but the methods were hidden. And when you step back, you start to notice something. A pattern. Moments where governments act in secret for the greater good, and only later does the truth come out. And how many more are still hidden? Thank you for watching Patterned Reality. We hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.